What is this? A Doom Eternal Ancient Gods article? I can see from a mile away that this is just bait, made by a crappy unoriginal games journalist, purposely hating on the game to generate clicks and add revenue. And for that same reason, I'll check it out. Please stop slowing Doom down. We're off to a great start, aren't we? For what my money's worth, the new Doom games are some of the best of this generation. Doom 2016 and its sequel, Doom Eternal, do not try to be something they are not. They know exactly why you are playing. To rip and tear. And I agree with this statement. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal do not try to be what they are not. They know exactly what they are and they know exactly who their demographic is. I think that's what makes them fantastic games. They are pure and focused experiences, self-aware enough to get away with their should be gross, but so ridiculous it's actually funny levels of gore. But also technically solid enough to be some of the best playing games in recent memory. I agree completely with this guy. Maybe we are twins or something. I mean, I agree with everything he's saying. There's never any mystery or surprises when loading up a new Doom game. Once I hit start, I'm going to go fast. I'm going to kill everything in front of me and it's going to feel amazing. Again, this guy is my lost brother. I agree completely with everything he's saying. Doom is a power fantasy. This game, Doom, has been created with the sole purpose of making you feel powerful and metal. It's a power fantasy. That's all I need right there. I'm skipping all that story. I'm not considering whether Doom has a grand message it's trying to convey. I'm just running and gunning through the hordes of demons in front of me. Respectable. If you do not like the story of Doom, it is completely fine. It is subjective. The story of Doom is subjective. You may like it, you may hate it, and it is completely fine. For me, the story of Doom enhances the experience because the story makes you feel even more powerful. Now that you know why the Doom Slayer is killing demons of hell, gods and whatever, it enhances the story and it makes you feel, rightfully so, even more godly and powerful. Developer id Software knows this is what you want to do. There's plenty of story and lore there, but it is unobtrusive and easily skipped. If you want that story, go wild. But I couldn't care less about why Doomguy is doing Doomguy stuff. Again, completely respectable opinion. And this guy actually knows and agrees what id Software did with the story. The story is there, but it's not intrusive. If you want to rip and tear only, you can do it. You can skip the cutscenes. Cutscenes are very limited. They do not take like 2 minutes of your time. Cutscenes are completely skippable. The story is completely skippable, but it is there in forms of codex entries. This guy, again, he's my lost brother. We share the same blood, like, what? For me, paying attention to Doom's story feels like reading the phone book before calling your crush. It's a lot of unnecessary work before doing what you actually want to do. The fact that Doom caters to this, I think, is what makes the game excel. At almost every point, it never wants to get in the way of your fun. At almost every point. Respectable opinion. This guy is... what? Estoy confundido. The new Doom Eternal DLC, The Ancient Gods, is more Doom. And that's fantastic. That's the best thing it could be. I'm having a blast in the new levels and the emphasis on difficulty has been a great test of my skill. I'm constantly switching through my weapon wheel, running, jumping and evading the literally dozens upon dozens, honestly it could be hundreds, I'm not sure, of demons is throwing at me in any given encounter. It's so fast and so vicious and I have no clue why I'm doing what I'm doing in the game. I love it. And I love this statement as well. The Ancient Gods Part 1 is basically Plutonia 3. This is old classic Doom. Ridiculous spawn points. I mean, why would you spawn a cyber demon in a closed tiny room? Why? I don't know, that's trolling from id Software. Ridiculous amounts of enemies in a single arena. I mean, there's like at least 30 enemies in one single arena and it's stupid and I love it. But then the Ancient Gods throws one of these damn platforming sections my way and I consider tearing my hair out. Okay, why would you tear your hair out for just some platforming sections? They They are not that bad, and I actually like them. The last thing I want from Doom is to have my momentum slowed down. The whole point should be to become a blazing fast blur of blood and guts. Anything but speed is antithetical to the experience it's pitching its players. And to be fair, this is a problem in Doom Eternal 2. On console, both the game and this new DLC bookend combat arenas with platforming sections that stall the pacing to a crawl and ask for a level of precision they just do not give their players. Because of this, the platforming becomes a tedious exercise in trial and error as you try to meet the exact requirements the game asks of you. It slows the experience down to a crawl. That's not what I signed up for. The Ancient Gods introduces a platforming puzzle that is a particularly ingracious example of this. Here's the setup. Doomguy punches a switch that activates a moving platform that moves into place near a swinging bar. The objective is simple. You jump, swing, then land on the platform before it makes back to its original position, which then allows you to proceed. The issue is that this platform moves at about the same pace as a glacier completing a cross-country triathlon. If you miss the moving platform, you are reset back to the beginning of the section, and then you have to wait for the platform to complete its cycle before you can restart. This can take upwards of 30 seconds, completely stalling the pace of the game while you sit and wait. Well, I do not know about this guy, but at least for me, the platforms didn't slow the game down for me. It is a necessity for the platforming sections to be there, as they are a relief, a rest between arenas. The Ancient Gods Part 1 is relentless. There's no mercy in this campaign expansion. Its software is going to throw everything they have at you, and it is actually really hard. I consider myself a very good player. I play on Nightmare difficulty whenever I'm playing. I'm always playing on Nightmare. I have completed the game on Ultra Nightmare difficulty, so I consider myself a decent player, and even I was having a lot of trouble managing the demons they were throwing at me. Imagine Ancient Gods Part 1 being a huge, one-sided, never-ending, restless arena. I mean, that would be no problem for me, but if that happened, I would see a ton of articles saying stuff like Doom Eternal Ancient Gods Part 1 is a never-ending, restless arena, and I hate that because I just cannot manage how many demons they are throwing at me. I die a lot, and because I suck at the game, this DLC is bad. I could see that happening. Also, the platforming sections in between the arenas serve as exposition for you to look at the landscape of what is happening in your surroundings. For example, UAC Atlantica facility. You are above the ocean. You are in the ocean in a storm at the moment. In this platforming section, the facility is destroyed. Everything is on fire. The storm and the ocean being turbulent. This is a fantastic landscape, and I'm like, holy crap, this is fantastic. This looks like goddamn art, and I like it. Also, the platforming section, at least here, it's not hard. You just need to jump. Just time your jumps right. You never played Mario when you were like 3 or 4 years old. It's just jumping. It's nothing hard. Why is this a problem? Why is this a problem? Why is something so simple as jumping a problem? In the context of the rest of the game, this is a serious blow to pacing and moves the Doom series in a direction away from what I think makes it special, and for what it's worth. This platforming puzzle isn't the worst one I've encountered. Man, it is not a platforming puzzle. It's right there what you need to do. You just need to jump. It's not a puzzle. It's just like a objective. You just need to jump. What? ¿Por qué siempre que quiero grabar pasan motos? No entiendo. It's just the one I could get to the quickest to capture footage. An earlier puzzle took me numerous tries to get right. Worse, it took a lot of patience and waiting for the slow animation to complete itself. Again, this puzzle is not hard. It is super ultra duper easy to complete. You just need to jump. It is a straight line from A to B. It's this. You just need to... Why is this a problem? Doom is about speed. I agree. At its best, it feels like you are a tornado of carnage. I agree as well. Ripping through the world with no care of who or what you destroy in the process. It's a power fantasy, selling the idea that nothing can stop you or your momentum. The speed and the way it affects the pacing of Doom do a lot of the lifting to amplify that fantasy, giving players a tangible sense that they are unstoppable. I agree with that. Doom Eternal, Doom 2016, Doom 2, Doom 1, Plutonia, TNT, Doom 64 and even Doom 3, they are all power fantasies. They are there to make you feel like an unstoppable machine. Like an unstoppable demon killing machine. They make you feel unstoppable until they hit a platforming section where they feel like an ant, stopped by the insurmountable challenge of jumping onto a moving platform and punished with that speed being taken from them for missing jumps. The game didn't give them the ability to perform as precisely as it wanted. Yo, brother, do you know that there's a rune called Air Mobility? You just need to tab, if you're on console, start menu, whatever, and select that rune. How is jumping hard? I mean, you're saying that jumping in a video game is hard. How? Jumping is not hard. Every single platforming puzzle, it's at arm's way. You can get there by jumping and dashing. It's not like you just need to jump to a certain area, mid-hook into something, and then dash in a certain angle to get there. No, it's just jumping. It's so simple. I certainly do not think this ruins the Ancient Gods. Okay, that is respectable. It is still fun, and I still want to play it rather than do things like, you know, work. But I cannot stop thinking about these platforming sections and how after Doom Eternal's similar issues, this seems indicative of where it wants to take the series. It's a direction I'm not sure I agree with. Okay man, I'm going to repeat myself and I apologize, but the platforming sections are there to give you a rest of the relentless demon onslaught that is being thrown at you. It's completely dude, it's for you to have a rest. If you do not want to have a rest, let me just message Hugo and say, hey man, just give us a full-on restless DLC. 4 hours of killing demons non-stop. 4 hours of you being completely concentrated. Every single fiber of your body is going to be concentrated in killing demons. That sounds like a great idea, and I can agree. Imagine for 4 hours being concentrated with killing demons without resting a single second. But I can see that also as a problem for a lot of people, because the game is going to be too hard. The game is going to be too hard that it's going to throw away entry-level fans of the series or new players as well, and that is not a good idea. Again, I'm going to repeat myself, but the platforming sections serve as expository areas, not dialogue areas, for you to take a look at the grandiose and amazing landscapes the art team at id Software has created. Urdak, the Equestrian Hold, the Blood Swamps, the UAC at Atlantica facility, Hell on Earth. I mean, these goddamn landscapes are beautiful. And if it weren't for the platforming sections or the rests in between the arenas, you would never be able to watch them. And that is a negative point at least for me. When I play Doom, I do not want to ever stop. Man, you are shooting yourself in the leg. I'm buying the power fantasy in bulk, stocking up on it for a rainy day. When that fantasy is in supply, you best believe I'm a happy customer. But when Doom removes that fantasy, even for only 30 seconds, I am immediately rocked back to earth, pulled from the experience it was selling to me as well. So please, for the love of God, stop slowing Doom down. This was a rather interesting article. In one part, I did agree with a lot of points he said. Doom is a power fantasy, the Ancient Gods Part 1 is amazing, tons of enemies, tons of demons, arenas that are built to completely humiliate you. Ancient Gods Part 1 is fantastic, but I didn't agree with the platforming sections he said that were boring and that they slowed the pace down. No, hell no. I think everyone, and one problem with the Doom community or how people look Doom right now is that because Doom was like the pioneer of the FPS genre, and because John Carmack said in the past that Doom should not have story, Doom should be all about killing demons and no puzzles at all. Well, the thing about puzzles is a lie, because OG Doom, Doom 2 and Doom 64 had a lot of backtracking, like a lot. I mean, the platforming sections and platforming puzzles of the Ancient Gods Part 1 and Doom Eternal base game, they are nothing compared to the backtracking of the original Doom games. Sometimes you didn't even know if you were going the right way. It was a troubling part of the game, and I hated it so badly because I just wanted to kill demons, you know? Doom 1, Doom 2, Doom 64, the original Doom games gave you more rest, gave you more resting sections than the Ancient Gods in Doom Eternal. For sure, and that's a fact. I think that people took that statement from Carmack that Doom should not have a story and Doom should be all about killing demons. That was said almost 30 years ago. Games, media, everything needs to evolve. They cannot keep the Doom formula the same for every single title and release of the same franchise. No, they need to innovate in some areas, because if they didn't, it would just be a reskin of the same thing all over again. And I know that if it's not broken, not fix it, but in all honesty, the Doom formula is not broken, but it can evolve in a lot of areas, and that's what Doom Eternal has done a lot. But anyways, please let me know what you think about this article here. Again, it was a 50-50 from my part. I agree with a lot of things he said, but I didn't agree with a lot of things he said as well. But again, it is all subjective. If you liked it, completely fine. If you disliked it, completely fine as well. It is your own personal opinion, and I cannot and will not and will never change that, because it's yours. It's yours to have. But anyways, since that was all the time I had for today's video, please let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Leave a like if you did, and a dislike if you disliked it. It is fine. Thanks to everyone who supports the channel every single day. And be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch. Have an awesome Saturday, and stay safe. Adios. Bye.